through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Hold 'em, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Guys, welcome to THFC Till I Die, home time past present. And that's all I'm going to say, because tonight was not a show we wanted to see. Tonight was an embarrassment. It was total lack of anything that brings pride to any shirt. It was Thomas Frank was out tactic, out fought, out everything. And it did beg me to ask the question in the chat during the watch along: have these players given up on Frank Ball, on Thomas Frank? Was this a performance where the players did not even come out and play for him? You look at games gone by, at least, and you look at games gone by. We've even if we've lost, we've given it all. Tonight, Bill Nick is spinning in his grave in embarrassment and in absolute disgust. These players should be damn well ashamed of themselves and shouldn't even get fucking paid next week, because they do not deserve. Not one of them put in the shift, apart from Vicario, who kept the ball, Vicario, who kept the goal count down, and Romero showed a little bit of passion when he came on. Joining me, of course, is my level-headed, more sensible, not like me, who is hot-headed and says things without thinking. He's more sensible. It is, of course, Russell Martin, former Rangers manager.
The one and only Russell Martin, the saviour that we need, the hero that Gotham needs. Yeah, you're Kirk and I'm Spock, apparently. So, Dermo.
Say that.
Yeah, just yeah. So are you Frank out then? If you are, then be it. Don't just because you're scared of the backlash, which you shouldn't be. If that's your feelings, then that's your feelings.
I do you know what? I'm not yet, Tequila. I said to you behind the background, I'm not yet, but I'm very close to it. I am very close to it.
So let me ask you quickly then, right? Taking all the injuries into account, because that was a quote unquote excuse used for Ange. Yeah. Looking at the players that we have available to us at this current time, what exactly were you really expecting? Creativity wise, did you really see us creating lots of chances?
Look, I'm not going to create a lot of chances, Tequila, but I expected fight. I expected desire. I expected intensity. I expected even the players that are out there to give their all, to try their best, to make themselves. I said it 2 or 3 times. Get it in the box. Get the ball in the box. Get the crosses in the box. Get the free kicks in the box. Every time I had a free kick, and you hear the Spurs fans wanting them to get the ball in the box, they were just passing it back to Vicario or passing it sideways. So
yeah, but I get it, but okay. So you want players to attack the box. What attacking threat did you want to attack the box? Richarlison?
Well, I'm not on about the front three. It's a whole team. The whole midfield didn't work tonight. We got it. We set up to lose. We set up to defend. We set up for a draw, Tequila. We had Romero back.
We haven't got any creative midfielders. The only one we've got is injured. It's Madison
and Kulu, by the way.
And fair enough. Okay, so Kulu not quite as creative in my mind as Madison, but okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. So, but we haven't got anyone else. What midfielders did you want him to put in there? I said in the summer, and people kind of ignored me, that we badly needed a deeper lying playmaker who could pass the ball to create stuff. We didn't get anyone. Because I thought to myself, none of these midfielders can do it, and exactly what's happening. So
yeah, I agree. But if you're a footballer, right, your intention is to go on that pitch is to, even if you're not a creative type midfielder, right? We saw more running forward. At one point, Bentancur was playing more up front than bloody Kolo was at one point. Kolo was at one point. Yeah, so I think we got disrupted very early on with Bergville going off, and that changed the when he went off, which I think it's a stupid. He got hit in the back of the head by a ball.
They've got no choice there, mate. You might not like it, but it's called concussion protocol. They have to.
Yeah. No, I get it. I thought Simmons come on. I thought he was poor today. He's supposed to be the creative spark. Kudos has always been outmarked by 2 or 3 players. So he can't even make any impact in the game. So he doesn't start. He doesn't get into the game. Simmons was woeful again today. Though he tried, I give him his credit. He did try. We got nothing up front. I think Kolo was marked out the game completely. He was starved of any sort of service at all. So look, as much as this is off Tottenham's own making with the transfer policy we had in the summer and the way that we didn't get the right players in, which I totally agree with you, Tequila. I think also tonight was tonight's performance made it so clear to me that there's something not right. You've already stated people in other chats are giving out about Frank. You've already said to me Daigle's already turned on him. And I think when you said to me that there is something not right, I think you hit the nail on the head.
I don't know if he turned on him, but he was but Daigle was one of his biggest supporters, and even he's had to hold his hand up and say that you've got to do better. There's something. What do you think that isn't right then, Dermo? What do you think that's not right?
I think we're too lopsided. I think we're playing too defensive football. I think we're playing to our, which is our strengths at the moment. The defense is our strength, and we're playing to that. We're playing for draws. I would expect that away from home, to being honest. Look, if we lost today, right, and we did lose, normally we do lose to Chelsea 9 times out of 10. Right? I mean, eight times we've won in 66 games, Premier League games, says it already, doesn't it? 7 at home and 1 away. We could have got a draw today if we got lucky. But there was no fight, Tequila. There was no intensity. There was no nothing. The players that were on that pitch just didn't give a shit. It doesn't matter if we don't have attackers. It doesn't matter if we've got no creative midfield. I still expect players to go out there. It's a London derby. Give it a all. Vicario, it could have been 4-0, 5-0. It wasn't for Vicario. And again, he kept us in the game. Chelsea had 2 or 3 glaring opportunities at the end of the game where they could have made it 2-0 if it wasn't for Vicario. I think Thomas Frank needs to adjust his tactics slightly. I thought Thomas Frank was a manager that adapted, that changed it, and that was flexible. I'm beginning to think Thomas Frank is a little bit overawed with taking on the Tottenham job. And I think it may be a bit too big of a job for him. Now, that doesn't make him a bad manager. That doesn't make me Frank out. I mean, given time and given the players that he needs, then maybe he may turn it around. But if you look at the performance together, everyone's saying we're third in the league. That's a false position, in my opinion. Yes. I think if results go against us tomorrow, which they may well do, we could be down Spurs 9th tomorrow night or 8th tomorrow night. Now, does that mean that Frank, then the Man United game becomes even more critical? Yes, it does become even more critical. Do you know what? Does that mean that we give Nuno less time, Tequila, with his brand of football?
Well, he's at about the same. It's probably about a similar time frame. I can't remember when we actually sacked him and got Conte. And I think it was around about this time, wasn't it? It was around about this time.
Man United was the game that hit the nail in his coffin.
Yeah, both the managers' jobs were kind of up for it. Yeah.
Now, are the Tottenham fans? I mean, the boos tonight, Tequila, were quite loud. There was a few at one point. I thought I heard, "You don't know what you're doing." At one point, a lot of the fans were frustrated with the way we weren't getting the ball in the box. And I know Rhino says Enoch out. That's the problem here, Doma. It's not just the only problem, Rhino. I know you're Thomas Frank in and you want to give him a free pass and he's your man and you're going to back him to the health. You've got to be honest. You've got to be honest. I mean, somebody's put in the chat here. He looked at Frank tonight. He looked lost and out of his depth. Tottenham is a big job, Tequila. Tottenham is a very big job. It's a big jump from Brentford to Tottenham, isn't it? To be fair,
it is. But I still think that maybe you. I asked you at the start there, mate. Yeah. Okay. Right. So he can work on things like the spirit and the stuff like that. You can try to get them up for it. That is a valid criticism. Yeah. And you said the same thing when we lost to Monaco. That was your big annoyance. Sorry, we drew with Monaco. We drew with Monaco.
But tonight's my biggest. Tonight, my biggest annoyance, Tequila, is that. Plus, we didn't correct. Look, we had one shot. I didn't have one. We didn't create any. And Chelsea weren't great tonight either. Chelsea were there for the taking.
Yeah, but from what I've seen, they probably, if it wasn't for Vicario, they probably should have been free. The XG, as somebody put in the chat, and he's right. I heard that as well. Our XG was 0.05, and that is absolutely
dreadful.
That's worse than Nuno.
Yeah,
and that's worrying.
So does the conversation have to be asked about? Does the conversation have to be had about Thomas Frank and the way that he's playing Tequila? Does the conversation have to be had?
Not for me, no.
No, well, I see. I disagree with you because if you're playing at home, you're
not with that forward, not with that forward line. I don't think
forward line. Your forward line is crap. I agree with you.
All that midfield, all of it.
Yeah, but then that means then he wasn't back properly in the summer. Then
it depends what remit he was given and who'd hired him, Dermo. I mean, you don't have the answers to that. It looks like there was a changing of the guard, and the rumours you've heard, like I have, apparently Levy didn't know he was getting sacked, which I find unbelievable, but apparently the way it was. So Frank probably isn't Viv's man. So was he backed fully? Probably not, because there was two different regimes. One regime for the first half of it, and then a second regime for the second half of it.
Mm. But
Turmoil,
so yeah, this is the second game. The games this year haven't been great, Tequila, to be fair. They haven't been fantastic. And yes, there is bad forward line, no midfield. There's no argument there for me, Tequila. You're spot on with that narrative. But you got players like Dean Scarlett on the bench, right? You let Mikey Moore go. You're still persisting with the Richarlison and Brennan Johnson that don't offer you anything. Why can't we not put on the likes of, why can we not win on the facts of Mikey Moore, or keep Luca at the back, bring him Ashley Phillips? All these youngsters are supposed to be good enough.
Well, Mikey Moore, I don't know whose call that was.
And it was a bad call.
We don't know if that was Frank's call or not. We don't know. We can assume that it was, just because, you know, you have to hope the manager decide these things. So let's say it was. Okay, so maybe that was a bad call, letting him go to range, especially considering as soon as my mate Martin was destroying Rangers, they should have recalled him right away. They should have realised the train wreck that was happening, right? So they definitely should have recalled him. But I mean, even Nuno, I put it in the chat, even Nuno had Harry Kane and Son. You know, he's got nothing, Dermo. I put it in the chat. This is the worst. This is the worst attacking players, I think, since the days of Everson and Armstrong and Zamora. We've regressed so much. So I don't expect us to create anything. And we've only let in one goal. Yeah, we should have let in probably more today. But Frank has made us hard to beat. Overall, that is what he has done well. And I think you're just going to have to wait until January. But I think, if anything, this is proven that if ENIC are serious about this, they 100% have to pay over the odds, and it is going to be over. It's going to be over the odds, because that's what happens in January. It has to be over the odds. You give, if it's Vlahovic is their man, you go all out, and then we'll see if stuff changes. Until that happens, I can't get on, and I won't get on the Frank out stuff, because I honestly believe that his hands are tied, and I think that even the better managers of the world would struggle to score goals with this team.
Look, I can't disagree with you, Tequila, on that. I really can't disagree with you on that. But what gets me is everyone. See, the problem is with me, everyone was blaming Levy for everything. It's his fault. It's Levy's fault. Levy gets the sack. Now it's somebody else's fault. You managers will go. Clubs will never sack players. They will sack managers. And it's a result business. It doesn't matter if we've got the worst first line. And you're right, we do have the worst front line than in my memory, Tequila. And I'm 40 odd years supporting Tottenham. This is the worst front line I have ever seen at the club. The midfield can be better. I do think Palhinha was a good signing. I think Bentancur is a good player.
He is, but he's not a creative midfielder. He's a good signing.
He's not a creative midfielder. I think they brought Xavi in to do that, and Xavi hasn't hit the ground running for whatever reason. I think it's still too early to slate Xavi. I think he will come good, but is it the system that's not suiting Xavi? That's the question that has to be asked. Football is the result business, Tequila. So we can complain about the team all we want, but football is the result business, and football clubs, if they're not nearing their targets, will sack managers. You with me have both discussed this. Was Thomas Frank a Levy appointment or Vinay appointment, or was it down to Levy to do it because he was in charge? If the answer to that question, it was a Levy appointment, how long before the Lewis family and Vinay stick with Thomas Frank? Now, I think you're right in what you're saying. We need to give him time. Poch didn't have a great first season, as somebody's put in the chat. Owen's saying, guys, we can't keep sacking managers. Give Frank time. I don't see any of the top teams sacking managers. They are not playing great so far either. We're third above. Do you know what, Owen? This narrative, we're third, I think it's a false position to me, because we're about 9th or 10th. we've lost our last 2 tequila. The form guy, we lost 1-0 to Chelsea. We lost 2-0 away to Newcastle, and we didn't play great that night either. We beat a very poor Everton side 3-0 away from home. We drew 0-0 with Monaco. We lost 2-1 with Aston Villa, and then we only beat Leeds. So we've only won 1 of our last 4 league games.
Yeah, the third is you're right. It's a false narrative, and you've got to look at a lot of the teams you've played. And have we beaten any teams that you think we shouldn't have, other than City? The answer for me is no. We beat City when I know that people say, "Oh, they're our bogey team," but realistically, you can't ever say that we expect to beat City. Come on, we did, and we are their bogey team for whatever reason. But I can't say that I ever expect to beat City. So whenever we do, I'm surprised, and I'm like, "Oh, that was not expected." Everyone else, we've generally lost to pretty much every other big team that we've come up against this year, and of course we lost to Bournemouth as well. We played badly against Wolves, and considering how bad Wolves are, you can say that we probably should have got max points there. But as you said, Dermo, away from home, I think we're doing okay, and that's the thing is I think we're set up to play away. It is. And I don't think that's going to change. So if people are only going to judge Frank on his home form this season, then you guys are going to have a lot of bad times, because I think this isn't going to change until January at least.
I agree. I agree with Colin here. Actually, he is a good player, Xavi. He just needs time. And is it the pace of the Premier League? Is it Frank's system? We don't know. It's one or the other. But why is it always managers? Why not look at the players? You know as well as I do, Colin. Football is a result business. How many Tottenham players got managers sacked? Under Levy. How many times did Ben Davies go up to, or Eric Dyer go up to Levy? Daniel, this manager's no good. We need a new manager. We can't play under this manager. I mean, we were woeful under Ange, but he won us the trophy, Tequila. We expect some people, including me, I got on the wave that Frank would be a better manager than Ange Postecoglou. And may well still be a great manager. Who knows? But something isn't working. And it's either the players are not getting to grip with Frank's system. His reaction when we went 1-0 down, Tequila, said it all to me. He kicked a water bottle in frustration. Jed Spence lost it. Mickey van der Ven, first job, should have kicked it up the pitch or kick it out of touch. What's it do? Tries to play it out from the back. Then Xavi loses it. Xavi pays it back to him. Mickey van der Ven gets his picket punch. Chelsea in 1-0. There's your goal. We set up the play for a point today. That's the bit that angers me. We're at home. We should be setting out with some set of an attention of, right, we're going to go for this. And you can blame anyone you like. It's a result business. And sadly, the thing is, Tequila, you know as well as I do, the buck stops with the manager at the end of the day. And
it's easier to fire one person. You say it's the players by all means, but what's the easiest thing for a club to do? Fire one man or to fire 20 players? Of which you've paid loads and loads of money for. Because you know as well as I do that you don't really buy managers. You sometimes have to pay compensation, but you don't buy managers. Whereas players are assets for every club, Dermo, not just Spurs. So if you're going to give up on players, you got to find a buyer. It's just not the same with managers. You got to find a buyer for the players.
So is the question right to ask then? Did Tottenham fail Thomas Frank in the summer transfer market then? And then if that's the case, then is it worth having the conversation? Did all the boardroom anarchy that went on in the summer, did that derail Tottenham's transfer policy? Did that distract from Tottenham buying the players we needed for Thomas Frank? And I think the answer to that is yeah, it did. I don't know what you think of it, but that's my opinion on it.
I think that Thomas Frank probably wasn't sure. If I'm being honest, I think Thomas Frank obviously. You got to remember that some of these players that we've got at this club. We spoke about Johnson before. In the press before I think he got the Spurs job, he said he liked Johnson. They went for Johnson many years ago before we stupidly outbid them for him. So obviously he must have thought Johnson was half decent, and he's been pretty complimentary. Less so since he started playing him, for the record, but more when he first arrived about Richarlison. So he probably didn't realise they were as bad as they were because he was still assessing the team. This is the thing about it. He came in. When did he come in? June. He probably did, and then the players had to come back in, and they run holidays and had to come back. Then you have to go through all the pre-match stuff and stuff like that, and the pre-season. He probably is still at the point where he's still assessing them, and he still is doing that. He's still assessing them. He's still finding out which ones he can rely on, which ones he wants to keep, which ones he wants to sell. And I can bet you he's starting to get a good picture. And I bet you privately he can't stand most of that forward line. And he probably wants the majority of them. He probably wants the majority of them gone. But so he can't do anything. I don't think he's going to be able to do much until the summer. But I just don't think we're going to give him the chance. I think Spurs. I'm not slagging you off, Dermo, because it's not just you. I think that this Frank out will now start gathering more because we're not going to be able to do what us as fans want to see. He is not going to play the Spurs way. He does not have the tools for the job and won't have the tools for the job until at least next summer. But is people going to be patient enough to throw this season away? Because that's kind of what you're going to have to do. Yeah,
I'm not Frank out yet, Tequila.
No, but it's going that way, and I don't just mean you. But you can see the signs, Demo. It's not just you. You can see the signs, and I understand because I am feeling it a little bit as well. I'm not immune to it because I don't want to see us play like this, right? I don't want to see it. I didn't sign up for this either. I want to see good football. I care about that stuff more than a lot of fans do. I even said that I care more about playing well than winning trophies. And I know I'm in the minority for that one. And that's okay.
No, I think you got a point on that. I think you do have a point on that. I think after today, I mean, we're not winning any trophies this season, to be fair. We're not even going to go far in the FA Cup.
Probably not. You never know.
And for me to say that, Keto, that's a big thing for me to say.
Are you, but as someone who is getting frustrated, and you're well within your rights, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, are you prepared to give him probably another 12 months? Because we won't know until the end of next window if he can build the team in his image and get some of these god awful quote unquote creative players we've got out of the club.
Look,
because he's going to take. He won't be up. He won't be able to do it all in January, even if we can bring in a striker on loan, right? Which is probably the most likely situation. We still need to get all this deadwood out and replace them with better players. You won't do that in January, Dermo.
No, you won't. You will have to wait till next summer. And I do accept that. And I'm not stupid enough or naive enough to not realize that. I think what gets me is that what the question to that is, will the Tottenham board give him that time? Because we can only give our opinions from a YouTube channel. That's our job, right? We run the Tottenham YouTube channel. We're not going to the games every week. We're only doing watch-alongs. And I've always said it. You see more at a live game than you do on the television. You can only see a certain amount. At a live game, you can see a lot more tactically and the way players are playing and the way players are adjusting and what they're doing. On television, you can only see so much. So on that point of view, I do feel that I will give him the year, I will give him the season, and then give him a transfer window and then take it from there. But if the fans that go to the stadium every week start voicing their disapproval and start saying Frank out or Enoch out, how quickly will Enoch, if the fans turn on the board, how quickly will Enoch say, right, we need to save face here? All right, sorry, Thomas. Do you know what I mean? What Levy did with previous managers. It doesn't matter if you and me want to give him a year. It doesn't matter if Rhino in the chat is agreeing with Spurs Side Chat saying, I think people are overthinking this. I'm sorry, Spurs Side Chat. I do not agree with that comment. It was progress is poor at the moment. Tequila hits a nail in the head. There is no progress. What progress are you seeing? Do you know? Yeah, we're hard to play against. That's not progress for me. That's just tightening up a defense. We already had a decent defense, so all you needed was a little bit of sensible tactics back then. There's your job done. But respect your opinion. But I think you wait, Tequila. When the fans turn on Enoch, how quickly will they turn on the manager? And I think that's going to be the telling sign.
I think it will. It depends if Frank was their man. I don't think he was. I think he was. I'm not saying that Vinny or Vinny, however you want to pronounce his name, had no say in it, but I don't think he was your mate Viv and Charlie's man. And I think that is the one that's going to out. You know what I mean? That's the ones who that's the ones who are gonna it'll be their decision. I don't think he was their man. He might have been Vinny's men, maybe, but if they want him out, he'll go. And yeah, you're right. If he could easily end up being the fall guy. We saw Levy do it with Graham when he first took over. George Graham lasted how long? Month, 2 months, and then he was out, and then we got Hoddle. So these new people. I'm using the term "new" loosely. I know Ryan's going to kill me for calling them new, but let's assume that it was. Let's assume, for argument's sake, it was Levy, right? And this entity is going to be different, just for argument's sake. Then they will have no problem getting rid of Levy's last big decision that Levy ever made.
Yeah, and I know, Rhino, I'm not calling you out, bud. I'm not, but you have gone on and said you want Levy back because Enoch had the problem. I just think it needs a whole new clean broom at Tottenham, new owners, new everything to kill it, because we can't keep going on. And look, I get Rhino's point, right? We're third in the table. Rhino, that's a false position, man. That is false. That we're not third in the table. Even me, being the most optimistic fan, has to realise that's a false position. I rarely do, and we're defending better.
To answer the question, sorry, Dermo, let me answer this. George Graham won us the Carling Cup, didn't he, Dermo?
Yeah, he did. 99, yeah.
Sorry, continue. Just went on.
No, you make a point, but Rhino's saying we're defending better. I mean, me could go in there and probably make this team defend better, Tequila, to be fair. It doesn't take rocket science to work out where this team's gone wrong. But if you have a board, and I don't trust Enoch. I've gone on the record and said this. I do not trust Enoch. I think they were all at bottom, but to myself and Levy, they all have to go. We need new owners. We need new people at the club. And again, Thomas Frank's going to be the fall guy. But if Thomas Frank's teams are going to put out performances like this today, even as bad as our forward line are, Tequila, there was no bite in midfield. There was no urgency from the back. It was like passing it back all the time. It was just a pathetic performance today at home to a London rival, where Chelsea showed more spirit, more fight. The Chelsea manager out-tacticked Thomas Frank completely. And if that was Ange Postecoglou, Tequila, I'm telling you now, everyone in the chat will be going absolutely ballistic. Right?
If it was during the second season, 100% they would.
Yeah.
But also, I would argue and say that we probably would have lost 7 or 8-0 under Ange.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
And that is the difference in the two managers. I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat. Listen, half our games this season are going to be away from home.
Yeah.
There's no problem there. Our away form is one of the best in the league, if not the country.
Yeah.
Right? So people are saying that we won't finish top 10, stuff like that. Top 10 will be a miracle. No, because we're fine away from home and half our games are played away. So if we continue with our away form, we should be fine getting into the top 10. If that's what we're judging it by. I'm not saying that home we shouldn't be concerned. I'm just saying it's like I'm trying to get away from this. The sky is falling stuff, because we just won last week at Everton, and most people thought we were like, "Oh, that was a really good performance." So we're just zigzagging from one extreme to the other. Just face the facts: we're better away from home than we are. We're set up as a team. Our strengths are more suited for an away performance than a home performance. I said it before. I'll say it again. When the emphasis is on us to create stuff, we're terrible. Our strength is in defence. And it works for us much better away from home. So as long as that defense doesn't start really crumbling, and to be honest, I don't think it will, we'll always be okay. Only okay, and that won't be enough in the long run, but we'll be okay. But if you're expecting us to, you want to have loads of possession, you want to be creating 20 chances a match, then we need to spend 400 or 500 million.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to get back to that kind of Poch team or whatever, if that's the idea, then that's how much we have to spend.
I get it. And look, even here, are you telling me that you can only get a 0.05 xG with Kudus, Simmons, Marani, and Palunia in the team? That is shocking. That is absolutely shocking. I mean, I don't think even Ange got that. Even Nuno didn't even get that.
No, Nuno did have Kane and Song, though.
Yeah. Look, we all know this is the first season without Kane and Son. So probably that has to be put into the melting pot as well, into the conversation. Look, you're never going to replace world-class players. It's going to take time. I just don't feel... I feel the whole lot needs stripping down from bare bones and starting again, Tequila. I really do. I think... I honestly, this is probably going to be a controversial comment I'm going to make, and if people hate me for it, do so. If they don't, they don't. But it's it's how I'm feeling.
Mate, he's not failing miserably.
Yeah,
he's not failing miserably.
I agree.
If we were sitting in like 17th or 16th position, right? And yes, you're right. Third is a false narrative, but even so, if you look at the points picked up, right, and you look at the average point, and this continues over the whole of the season, it's not going to be a disaster, because the disaster, it was a league form last year, and we're not going to be that bad. We're just not going to get into the top 6, which I never thought we would anyway. And if some of you thought we would get into the top 6, that's why you're reacting the way that you're reacting. You think we're much better than we are?
Yeah, look, I'm not. I'm a fan that's quite. I
just find it frustrating. I just find it a little bit frustrating, Dermo, that you just patience. That's all. You just need patience. It was a bad performance, of course it was.
It's too bad. These are bad performances happening again and again.
But away from home, they're not.
Yeah,
and that's half our game. That's half our games.
Yeah, look, I as I said before, I've been long enough supporting Tottenham. I've seen a lot worse than this, right? I've seen a lot worse. Is it pretty at the moment? No. Did winning the Europa League paper over the cracks? Yes, I think it did. I think we should nowhere be near nowhere near the Champions League. I think winning that papered over the cracks massively. I think we're under a new era. Pochettino's first season in charge wasn't the greatest, to be fair. But if you do look at it that way, I think a lot has to change at the football club. I think, am I angry? Yes, because we lost today, and it's never nice to lose. You don't like to lose, and I don't like losing.
Especially to those lot. It's the worst people to lose to.
Especially to them lot. And we've got Man United next week, and we've got Arsenal then in the North London derby. You know, last season, Tequila, the only time I reacted badly is when we lost to teams like that. I don't like losing. You know that as well as I do. I hate losing. But no shots on target, Tequila. Is that a worry?
Well, yeah, of course it
is a worry, isn't it? And I know Mary said it here, no shots on is not acceptable. It isn't acceptable.
But that's not every. Yeah, but Mary, that's not every game though.
Yeah, what got me today, Tequila, right? What got me today was when we had a chance to eat free kicks, right? We had the defenders up, we had all the players up there, and why not pump it into the box? Do you know what I mean? Even if you get Mickey van der Ven, all our corners today were woeful. Their keeper was picking them out all over the place. Our final delivery was woeful. Kudos was bad today, crossing the balls. We're very good at set pieces, so we should have took opportunity of how good we are at set pieces, but we didn't. Anytime we got a ball, it went back or it went sideways. We should have pumped it into the box. And that's what's frustrating me, Tequila. When we get these chances and when the defenders go up and when we've been so good with set pieces this year, go to our strengths. We know we haven't got a forward line or a midfield or an attacking midfielder that can create chance. So you have to play to your strengths, don't you? And that strengths at the moment is set pieces for us. So where we know Chelsea's defense was a little bit, I think it could have been vulnerable today. I think what was one thing I did thought the first half, but we should have pumped it into the box more at free kicks and corners, or get our deliveries right. I'm not worried about.
Dermot,
Yeah,
I'm
go on.
not. Honestly, I'm not defending how he played. I'm not.
No,
Not at all. I'm agreeing 100%. That XG is embarrassing. Not having a shot on target is embarrassing. You're right. I'm not denying these things, but what I'm trying to get the point across is that this is not. This is just half of the games we're having this problem.
Yeah,
The problem
I agree with
is
that.
at home, not away. So I just think that we're acting like that we're absolute dog crap, and we're not. We're just average.
We were dog crap today.
That's fine, and you can be dog crap. You can be, and if you're an average team, you will be dog crap sometimes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be an average team, and you'd be at the top end of the league of the whole season. But
where I would put it out there, this team needs serious surgery, big time.
Well, yeah.
But will Enoch be the? I mean, he's Rayman. He goes to all the home games. He's a season ticket holder, and he says what I'm hearing, I agree with. So he must be agreeing with both of us together, which is big up to you, Rayman. Going to just listen now. He says he did put that. He says I'm just getting in the car to set up home, depressed, and he goes to every game.
I'd be depressed too if I was paying the money that Rain has to watch that. I'd be depressed too.
So the question I'm going to ask is, right, we can all have our opinions here by watching the games, like on Sky, and we did watch-alongs and all this match reactions afterwards, Tequila. Will it boil down to the going fans at the stadiums and the away fans? Do they have Thomas Frank's sort of? Do they have his job in their hands? If you know what I mean. When will Tottenham fans? I mean, we are a fickle fan base. We know that. We saw how quickly we turned an Ange last year with all the shite football we were watching. 22 defeats in the league. Yes, we won the Europa League. I'm saying it papered over the cracks. I don't know if you agree with that, Tequila, but I think it did. I think it led us into, it's great to win the trophy, but I thought we had no right being in the Champions League. That's why I made the point the other night that if you win the Europa League, you should stay within the Europa League. But do the home fans and the away fans hold Thomas Frank's future in their hands?
The away fans, no, because I think away from home will be respectful this year. Away from home,
yeah.
The home, at home. Eventually, whilst they're still, how can I phrase it? Whilst they're still having a go at Frank and not, because you remember that what happened with Levy over the years is normally he would only react if they started on him. Whilst it was just on the manager, he seemed to just stick. Once they started getting so fed up, they started directing the hatred towards him. That's when he started to react. We don't know if the new ownership or the new stewards are going to react the same way. If people start having a go at Viv and Charlie, for argument's sake, and start saying, well, maybe they'll have to twist. We can't answer that yet because they haven't started doing that yet, but they will if this continues. They will eventually get tired of shouting at Frank, so to speak, and they will start going upstairs. We don't know how these guys are going to react once the heat is actually on themselves, because they've tried to position themselves as the returning hero, right? They're saying all the right things in the press. Yeah, we're going to do things differently. Well, that's all well and good, but when the fans start turning and start coming for them, we have to see how they're going to react then. We won't know until it happens.
No, we won't. And that's the thing, isn't it? It was a horrible evening, a horrible performance, guys. I'm trying to find out what Thomas Frank did say. This is actually a bit interesting. Mickey van der Ven and Jens Spence both blanked Thomas Frank and stormed straight down the tunnel at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Van der Ven looked rather disgusted by the result. Meanwhile, Spence could be seen gaslighting towards Spurs head coach, whatever that means. Does that say anything to you that some of the players in the dressing room could be turning on Frank?
Without, I'd have to probably actually see the footage live. I don't know if there's any pictures of it or anything to really to answer it properly.
Look at Chris Cowlin. Chris Cowlin. If you're going to be, I'll try to send you the.
I'll have a Google after the show and I'll have a look for myself.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be something about it. But not. I mean, I would imagine that happens every time you lose, Dermo. There's one, but what I'll say is that you probably shouldn't do it in public. I imagine that stuff happens all the time. Every time there's a loss, you go back to the locker room, and there's probably a lot of words said to each other, and probably the manager does get involved sometimes. Yeah. But if you're doing it publicly, that does indicate maybe a lack of respect. But then, Dermo, is that the manager? Or is that the players? Is that like Van der Ven and Spence should know better and they should be more respectful? So what side do you come down on? Like, you shouldn't be doing that in public.
Thomas Frank's reaction. What did Spurs say after lost Chelsea on Spurs' full home form? He says, I think we just need to keep working very, very hard on it. No doubt about it. Clearly, we are building something that needs a lot of things. Something is very good, but unfortunately today was not good enough. We are very limited. We're very irate and frustrated about that. On the fans' frustrations at full time, a fair point. I understand. I think fans started very well. I think they did everything they could to back the team throughout the game. Where we didn't perform well, we met Chelsea team that was better than us on the day. I don't think Chelsea were that much better than us, by the way. I think we were just that poor. We made them look good. That's it. We need to work on keeping getting better. Clearly, we couldn't match their energy and intensity. I think that is part of it today. On the lack of energy and intensity, there's a lot of things that hurt today, but I think we created very, very little. As you say, Tequila front line. I don't think I've ever managed a team that created that little in a game. So that's part of many, many things. Sometimes you can analyze too much. I think we lack the freshness today, unfortunately. It's all right making excuses of freshness and
that's
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a flimsy excuse, but I don't know what else you can say really. You can't turn around and say, "Yeah, mate, I've got no options, mate. They're all crap."
I mean,
as funny as it would be. And I'd have a crazy amount of respect for him, by the way, if he did that. Yeah. He'd probably become my favourite Spurs manager in many a year. But you can't. So what's he meant to? What would you say, Dermo? What would you say? You put yourself in his position, right? You know they're all dog shit other than Kudos. And you got to answer journalists. What do you say?
The shit.
Well, yeah, that's what you want to say.
I wouldn't be in the job very long, put it that way.
Neither would I be.
Well, look, we've got last question here from Rhino, and then we're going to end off there. And then we do have player ratings tomorrow, guys, and final score where we'll go more in depth of the Chelsea game. I don't know how much more depth we're going to do it, but there will be a player rating show, so do watch out for that. And final score tomorrow, and then Monday I'll be off, and then Monday there'll be a load of pre-records being done because we've got the game on Tuesday against. Who we've got Tuesday? We've got Copenhagen in the Champions League. Do you know what, Tequila? I'm looking forward to the international break. I get a break.
I mean, I get a rest. I will say this. Copenhagen, with all due respect to Copenhagen, if we have a 0.05 against Copenhagen, then I don't know what this fan base is going to do to Thomas Frank.
I don't know. Right. Do you want me to? Because apparently this was for me, Tequila. So I let you ask me Ryan's question.
1 sec. I've got my glasses on. Okay, I can't see it there. Give me a sec. We don't have the players at the Mo, and ENIC won't spend. But if you have broken tools, how do you fix something? And we don't have the players to play Frank's way. So what do we expect? That's exactly what I was saying, more or less.
Yeah, but we don't know
right.
Nick won't spend, do we? We don't know that.
That's no, yeah. You're going on that I haven't spent before. We don't know if this version of them, and I use that term loosely because I know that Ryan doesn't feel there's any difference. I know that, and I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying that I don't know. We have to hope you're wrong. We have to hope you're wrong.
Yeah, we do. Look, we don't know if Enoch going to spend or not. We don't know that. And if it's using your narrative that you want Enoch out, then I can argue against your narrative because that's your narrative and that's the way you see it. So I can't argue against it. From my own personal point of view, I think Enoch will probably spend in January. I think if you look at the players that are available, Vajovic is available for 20 million, so that's a no-brainer, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got to give Paratici time to cook in January and then carry on. But you've got to be realistic as well, Rhino, that the board may not give Thomas Frank the time to do the job. You're very quick to turn on Ange Postecoglou last year. You're very quick to turn on him from day one. He didn't even give him a chance before he even had his first game. You're Ange out. At least Tequila gave him 10 games, and then he realised he was shit, and then he was Ange out.
No, I actually gave him until probably about 2/3 of the way through the first season.
You did, and to be fair, you did. So look, none of us saying here Frank out, but if this keeps continuing, and then the Enoch don't back the manager in January, how quickly will Enoch turn on if the fans turn on Enoch, how quickly will they turn on the manager? You've got to be ready for that. And
okay,
do you know what I mean?
Sorry, Dermot, I am listening to you, but I'm also watching what you sent me. Right, so Jed Spence tells him more or less to F off. That is, if I'm Frank and I find out that the cameras have caught that, which they have, that's a massive issue.
Do you think he's losing the dressing room? Because I've seen it.
I don't know. I can only comment on the Jed Spence stuff. I hadn't the Van de Ven I haven't quite seen yet. But that Jed Spence thing, that was nasty. That was
uncalled for.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Frank, you got to do something. You can't allow. You can do that if you want to do that in the locker room, right? That's different. But to do that on the pitch when you know all the Sky cameras are all there, nah, mate. That's. I think Jed Spence should be ashamed. That's out of line, and Jed Spence has got an ego on him anyway. I'm just saying he's done stuff before. Ask Neil Warnock. So that's a bad look, Dermo. I'm sorry to bring that up. Continue, but that's
no. I think you're right because I think that I asked the question during the watch log: are the players giving up on Thomas Frank already? And if Van de Ven's going down the touchline after that, now he could be angry because of the result.
Yeah, I need to find the Van de Ven one, but the Jed Spence one that is.
I'll try to look on. If you look on Chris Cowland, I'll try to.
I don't know if anyone else go and have a look if you guys want to see what me and Dermot
look in the boot room. Go into the TBR boot room. I'll send you the link where I got this from Tequila. So I'll send you.
Do you want me to post the link in the chat? We're allowed to do that, aren't we? We're allowed to post
put that link in the chat. Yeah, put that link in. Put it into the members chat so the members get to see it actually. Yeah. Do that. I'm sure Chris Cowden won't mind. I've sent you the link to the boot room as well. He'll
enjoy the views.
Yeah.
Okay, let me post it.
Just before we finish up, watch the video of Spence and Van de Ven. Could be issues in dressing room. Niall, I think you could be spot on there. Thomas Mullen are 5 worst Spurs side I've seen in 60 years. I know Mr. Brady's absolutely disgusted, and he's seen a lot of Tottenham over the years, so I know he's fuming out on holiday. Worst Spurs side I've seen in 60 years. Solanke, Madison, Johnson, Davis, Strankerson, Richarlison all should have been gone after last year. Even worse this year. We buy English players rubbish. Be out. Considering Frank dropped this, I can see Spence will be dropped. I think Frank will sell him in January, just my opinion. look, it's home. We're at home to them, Giant.
Okay, I can't.
Keela,
It's not letting me post a link in. Sorry, guys, but just have a look for yourself. I have tried. Basically, the link's too long to put in the chat.
Really?
But go have a look for yourself, guys. And Jed Spence is.
If you're on Twitter,
just brushes them off.
Chris, if you're on X, go and look on Chris Cowland. Look, Tequila, we're going to end it there. It went a lot longer than we wanted to. I'm
a bit shocked by that, Dermo. I must admit.
I am.
That's really out of order.
Maybe tomorrow or Monday, Tequila. I know you're D&D tomorrow, so maybe Monday we might have a conversation on that. And I think it's worth having a conversation on that. Guys, do hit like and subscribe if you can. We do try to put in a lot of effort. Today's been a big day. We've gained a lot of new subscribers today, Tequila, funnily enough.
Misery likes company, is it, Dermo?
Misery likes company. But what did you think of my new scoreboard, by the way, bud? I know you didn't like the colour.
Other than me thinking that I was on a Man City channel, but the layout was fine, dude. It was good. Other than the colours, we need because it made me think of Man City.
What we do is one night we'll go in, you and me, and we can discuss how I do it. I enjoyed it. All of it was AI automated. I didn't have to do a damn thing, which left me sitting there going twiddling my thumbs.
There you go, guys. Try that link, right? Just give that a try. I couldn't do it with my account, but I've as Dermo's alter ego, I've tried.
Yeah, Mr. AI, Mr. Jarvis. No, it's on X. Rhino, it's on X. And these players are rubbish.
That link should take you to it, guys. Have a look for yourself and you tell us what you think, because I think that's really out of order.
Do you know what? I agree. I think the club's rotten to the core. But look, it's a conversation we're going to have Monday. I'd love to get James' thoughts on it as well. I know he's working the last 2 days.
He won't be happy. I don't think Big James will be happy with it.
No. But guys, that is it. That is it. The end of your Chelsea matchday stuff. Tomorrow, play ratings. Tomorrow will be final score. Monday will be a news beat. I think I'm going to do a discussion on Monday. I'm going to invite Brenny on as well. I might see if Brenny wants to join us, because everyone enjoys a bit of Brenny, and see what he thinks about it, because they won today. They won today, Arsenal.
Yep, they won again.
So a bit of a North London derby podcast on Monday between Tottenham and Arsenal fans, talking all things North London and what we think of each of our clubs. I might get Nick as well to join us. Nick's a good lad as well, another Arsenal fan, so maybe join us for that. Tequila, where can people find you, bud? I know you've got a gaming channel, so where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the Play Pouch, which is just me and a couple of 40-year-old nerds and playing video games. And coming up, like I say, there's South Park, which will be in the next couple of weeks. That's the big new thing coming out. We're going to play a South Park game, so lots of profanity and funny jokes. I love South Park, so if you like South Park, then please join us for that.
Yeah, I have a gaming channel also called Double Dum Gaming. Me and James are going to do lots of football during the international break. There'll be a lot of gaming stuff going up there. Do you know I started last night? Old Country Mafia last night, Tequila.
What did you think?
I liked it. I really liked it. I've only done 2 chapters, but I really like it so far.
I like the setting. It's like early 1900s in Italy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
it is very good. I would recommend it. But look, I'm going to play a bit more of it. I will be doing a review of that, and also we are going to talk about Xbox as well, because I think Xbox is getting a little bit getting a little bit crap.
Steve's asking me, I'm on tonight. I don't think there's another show tonight. I think this is it for today, isn't it, Dermo?
I think he's on about.
If you mean my channel, no, I'm not streaming. At the minute, I'm not streaming. It's kind of like not my turn. I did a lot earlier in the year, so it's like I'm letting some of the other boys have a turn before I come back. Spreading the love.
Yeah, spreading the love. Well, that was Pony. Shouldn't hurt so much anymore, but it always does. It does. Good night, everyone. Have a good one. When is the fan? When we're doing the fan show, we mean to get one going, don't we?
I thought it was going to be now, as in like after the match reaction, but I think because obviously it was such a bad match that
I think we'll do one in the international break. I think we'll start them then. We've got to pick a day when it doesn't clash with Dave's fan show. Now I don't want to do that. So maybe we'll we'll sit down, the three of us, Rhino.
Depends
and
on how many of you want to come on as well.
Yeah.
We know Ryan wants to come on, but if the other guys want to come on as well, then we can set up. So we've got an idea of how long
to give everyone.
Yeah, and give everyone a chance to come on. So,
well, guys, that is it. Sorry, go on, bud.
I was just saying, let us know if you want to come on, and then we can get a list up of who wants to come on.
Yeah. Well, guys, let us know as well what you think. Guys, that is it. There's many people in the chat. It's Frank losing the dressing room.
I'd like to think not all of them, but obviously Jed Spencer is not his best mate. I think that's obvious.
It isn't. I will be covering the Island Games, of course, in the international break. Of course I will, because we won't be qualified. Do you know the World Cup draw comes up on the 6th of December? I'm going to have to cover that because England are there, by the way. So I'm going to have to cover it for you.
You don't care, Demo. Why do you care if England are in it?
Because I like the World Cup draw something special, and it's in Las Vegas.
Is it in Las Vegas? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ryan says me. I don't know what Rain Man says me, but he says me.
I think that means Rain wants to come on. So that would be Ryan and Rain, the double R's. Okay, well, that's two of you.
The two Ronnies.
Yeah, the two double R's. We'll have to set something up.
We really will do.
And then we'll give you like a certain amount of time.
Rain Man on during the week as well, Rain Man. Let me know when you're free. You can't do Extreme International Break demo. Mrs. Chom will have a list of chores for you. I can still do the chores and do international break. Come on, Andy. No, we can't, Rhino. No, don't even go there. Do not even go there. There is an island rank coming massively. Guys, thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get the 3K. Tell you what, let's get the 3K and make Dermo very happy and Tequila very happy and James very happy. Let's forget about Tottenham misery and get this channel to 3K. Make us, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it, Tequila?
It works for me, bruv.
See, it works for Tequila, it works for me. So get the 3K. Let's get there. On that bombshell. Oh, Lord. I thought the Ange shite had finished, but it's just Ange in a different manner. Ange has now morphed into Thomas Frank.
It's the opposite, Ange.
It's the
you go to a different. This is a parallel dimension, Dermo. You know, like with in South Park when they've all got box beards. Yeah. This is just a different version of Ange, just like the anti-Ange.
This is anti-Ange. On that bombshell. Speak to you later. Go and take us out, Tequila. You always do.
I tell you, mate, we didn't have XG of 0.05 and Ice Manager, mate. Just who we are, mate. Just who you are. Spursy.
Oh, I need a drink. Good night.